Hey everyone, how's it going? Azrin here, owner of the Calgary Language Nerds, and welcome to today's Learn Gujarati with Me podcast episode and YouTube video. I'm very, very excited about today's lesson. In today's lesson, you are going to learn so much. We're going to cover a whole bunch of different words. You're going to get a lot of listening practice. You're going to even get a chance to do some reading practice if you're someone who is learning how to read. We're going to do some speaking practice. We're going to do writing practice. You're going to see words that you already know, but see them used in sentences that you've probably never really seen before. And it's going to be completely unique, completely novel to you. This is going to be a jam-packed, such a good lesson for you guys. You'll want a pen. You're going to want a notebook, right? You're going to want to take some notes. Like, get ready. This is a super, super good lesson. I'm excited. Today's lesson is specifically for people who have, I would say, a base in the Gujarati language. You have to have a little bit of a base in Gujarati to really get the most of this lesson. So if you've been really diligent with the videos that I've posted thus far, you've been practicing with people outside of these lessons, maybe you're taking classes with me. If you've been really diligent, at least for a few months, you have a bit of a base, this video is definitely for you. I would also say, if the level of my videos is slightly below your level, like you feel like you're watching them, but you feel like your level's actually a little bit higher than the type of content I make, you're going to love this lesson today. So let's begin by sharing my screen. Here we go. Now, if you're someone who's learning how to read the Gujarati script, pause this video now and try to read what you see on the screen. If you're a beginner reader, take your time, don't rush. Maybe just read like the first couple of sentences. If you're more experienced with reading, by all means, try to read the entirety of the text. This text here is about studying in the US. In particular, it's talking about what the expenses are of studying in the US. How much does it cost? What do you pay for? Things like that. I was inspired. So while you're actually, I'll stop my screen share here. Pause here if you want to try reading this. We're gonna move on here. So pause the video if you want to practice reading. Okay, what inspired today's lesson was one of my private students. I make, especially recently, the videos that I make on this YouTube channel, on the podcast, they are pretty much tailor-made, specifically designed for students I personally teach. I'll make like a specific video for a specific video lesson for a specific student. And we just started near the end of our class having a lovely conversation about the US education system and what it costs and all that kind of stuff. And I thought, oh my God, I should totally make a lesson on this. So this is specifically for that student. And honestly, as I think of it, there's a couple of other students who I think I teach who might really like this. Before we jump, I know there's a lot of kind of talking happening before the actual lesson. Please bear with me. There's one video I'm going to put a link to in the episode description box. This video really inspired me for this video. Like I was watching it completely separately on another day, and it was really interesting. I actually quite enjoyed it. It's short. It's like 2-3 minutes. It is a harder level. So if you're really on the beginner side, like that video is going to be way above your level. But by all means, you're welcome to try and give it a shot. That video is in the episode description box. So it's made by a completely different person. It's not me. It's just a separate YouTube channel altogether. Okay, with all that preface aside, let's dive into the lesson. I'm going to read this text to you. Listen carefully and really try and soak it in. I'm going to read this to you 2 times. I'll go nice and slow. ઘણા વિદ્યાર્થીઓ યુએસમાં અભ્યાસ કરે છે. યુએસમાં ભણવું ખૂબ જ ખર્ચાળ છે. અમેરિકામાં 1 મહિનાનો ખર્ચ કેટલો હોય છે? આજે આપણે આ વિશે વાત કરવાના છીએ. અમેરિકામાં મોટા ભાગનો ખર્ચ રહેવા પાછળ થાય છે. ત્યાં રહેવું ખૂબ જ મોંઘું છે. પણ હજી બીજા ખર્ચા હોય છે, જેમ કે પુસ્તકો, કપડા, ફોન વગેરે વગેરે. આના કારણે ઘણા વિદ્યાર્થીઓ પાર્ટ ટાઈમ જોબ કરે છે જેથી એમનો ખર્ચ કવર થઈ જાય છે કદાચ વિદ્યાર્થીઓ સ્ટારબક્સમાં કે બીજી કોફી શોપમાં કામ કરે છે સામાન્ય રીતે અમેરિકામાં એક મહિનાનો ખર્ચ 1000 થી 1500 અથવા $1500 જેટલો થાય છે આમાં રૂમનું ભાડું ખાવાનું અને મુસાફરીનો ખર્ચ આવી જાય છે Ooh, it's a hard one, isn't it? Pretty tricky. Let me read it one more time. Okay, listen carefully. ઘણા વિદ્યાર્થીઓ યુએસમાં અભ્યાસ કરે છે યુએસમાં ભણવું ખૂબ જ ખર્ચાળ છે અમેરિકામાં એક મહિનાનો ખર્ચ કેટલો હોય છે આજે આપણે આ વિશે વાત કરવાના છીએ અમેરિકામાં મોટા ભાગનો ખર્ચ રહેવા પાછળ થાય છે ત્યાં રહેવું ખૂબ જ મોંઘું છે પણ હજી બીજા ખર્ચા હોય છે જેમ કે પુસ્તકો કપડા ફોન વગેરે વગેરે આના કારણે ઘણા વિદ્યાર્થીઓ પાર્ટ ટાઈમ જોબ કરે છે જેથી એમનો ખર્ચ કવર થઈ જાય છે કદાચ વિદ્યાર્થીઓ સ્ટારબક્સમાં કે બીજી કોફી શોપમાં કામ કરે છે સામાન્ય રીતે અમેરિકામાં એક I'm going to start that last part again. સામાન્ય રીતે અમેરિકામાં એક મહિનાનો ખર્ચ 1000 થી 1500 અથવા $1500 જેટલો થાય છે આમાં રૂમનું ભાડું ખાવાનું અને મુસાફરીનો ખર્ચ આવી જાય છે All right, let's like really break this down together. I'm going to share my screen and let's go through this together. Here we go. Let's kind of use both. Let's see if I can get both on the screen. If I can scroll just a little bit down. There we go. So we'll start with this first little paragraph. At the top, we have Gujarati script. At the bottom, we have the Latin script. So you can pick whichever script you want. ઘણા વિદ્યાર્થીઓ યુએસમાં અભ્યાસ કરે છે અભ્યાસ means studies. So they are doing their studies. ઘણા વિદ્યાર્થીઓ યુએસમાં અભ્યાસ કરે છે અભ્યાસ કરે છે another way you could say that that's equally common is ભણે છે ઘણા વિદ્યાર્થીઓ યુએસમાં ભણે છે So ઘણા વિદ્યાર્થીઓ many students યુએસમાં in the US અભ્યાસ studies કરે છે they are doing their studies યુએસમાં ભણવું here's ભણવું is to study right so to study in the યુએસમાં ભણવું ખૂબ જ ખર્ચાળ I wonder if I can actually get oh no that's way too much no it's way too much no that's okay ખૂબ જ where are we ખૂબ જ ખર્ચાળ છે ખર્ચાળ is another word for મોંઘું મોંઘું I think we have let's see if I can find મોંઘું I think we have મોંઘું in here somewhere here it is right મોંઘું is expensive ખર્ચાળ is also expensive ખર્ચાળ is kind of like I guess it would be more like yeah I guess it's just expensive it's just a synonym honestly kharcho which we're going to see in a second or kharch is like expense so it's like expensive it's kharchar it's like literally expensive like the word expense is in that word you could also think of this word as costly right it's also like costly so kharchar che અમેરિકામાં એક મહિનાનો ખર્ચ so in America 1 month's expense the expense of 1 month એક મહિનાનો ખર્ચ કેટલો હોય છે how much is it કેટલો is like how much or how many કેટલો હોય છે how much is the expenses of 1 month આજે આપણે આ વિશે વાત કરવાના છીએ today આજે આપણે આ વિશે we're going to about this વાત કરવાના છીએ we are going to talk about this અમેરિકામાં મોટા ભાગનો ખર્ચ so in America મોટા ભાગનો ખર્ચ so the majority let's scroll down here there we go the majority of the expense રહેવા પાછળ થાય છે I really like this wording I actually literally just actually heard someone say this once. I was like, ooh, that's actually a nice, like, I heard the guy say this, like, oh, that's such a great little like wording. Because a non-native Gujarati person would not think to say it that way, but it is a native way to say things. It's the majority of the expense is behind the living. Reva pachar. It's behind the living. It doesn't sound natural in English, but in Gujarati it does. So the majority of your expense is going to be behind your living. So the living costs are the most expensive. That's where your majority of your costs are going to be. Yeah, over there, the US, Revu khubaj mongu che. It's very expensive to live there. But haji bija kharcha hoy che. Actually slightly modified this, but that's okay. But haji bija kharcha hoy che. There are still other expenses. Jemke, for example, Jemke, pustako, kapra, phone, so books, clothes, phone, vagare, vagare. Vagare, vagare means etc., etc. So, etc., etc. Ana karane, so because of this, oh, hang on a sec here. I think we have a typo in the, yeah, this is a typo here. It's ana karane, not jane. It's ana karane. Ana karane, ghana vidyarthio. So because of this, ana karane, ghana vidyarthio, many students, part-time job કરે છે. They are doing a part-time job. જેથી means so that એમનો ખર્ચ, their expense, cover થઈ જાય છે. Their expense gets covered. Cover થઈ જાય છે. So they're working part-time so that their expenses get covered. Kadac vidyarthio Starbucksમાં, so maybe students are working in Starbucks or another coffee shop. Starbucksમાં કે બીજી coffee shopમાં કામ કરે છે. સામાન્ય રીતે, so usually, Americaમાં એક વિદ્યાર્થી, and I actually simplified this sentence. I said, Americaમાં એક મહિનોનો ખર્ચ, so I kind of got rid of this here. I got rid of that section. એક મહિનોનો ખર્ચ 1,000, so 1 month's expense, 1,000, so 1,000, 1,000, થી 1,500, 1,500, 1,500, 1,500. So from 1,000 to 1,500. 1,000 થી 1,500. So 1,000 to 1,500. Atva, or 1,500. So there's two ways to say 1,500. You can say 1,500, 1,500, or you can say 1,500. It's completely up to you, whichever you prefer. Dollar jetlo hoy che. We're going to skip the meaning of jetlo. It's in very simple terms. It means like as much. It's as much as $1,000 to $1,500. Now, is this true? I actually have no idea. I have no clue. Actually, I had the AI just generate whatever number it thinks is right. I have no clue if that's right. So just so you know. The rest of this, though, I kind of wrote myself. And yeah, pretty much I just wrote this myself. And except for this last little like dollar amount, I was like, I actually don't know what the expense is. Anyway. Ama room nu bharu. So in this, the room's rent, bharu is rent, right? Khavanu is the food. Khavanu. And then musafrino kharch avi jai che. The travel expenses are coming into this. I'll show you the English. You can just have a look here. Many students study in the US. Studying in the US is very expensive. How much is a month's expense in America? Today, we're going to talk about this. In America, most of the expense goes towards living or accommodation. Living there is very expensive, but there's still other expenses too, such as books and clothes, phone, etc., etc. Because of this, many students do part-time jobs, so their expenses get covered. Perhaps students work at Starbucks or another coffee shop. Generally, a student's monthly expense in America is around $1,000 to $1,500. This includes the rent for your room, food, and travel expenses. It's kind of funny actually reading this translation. It's really funny. You can really see that it's like a direct Gujarati to English translation. Some of these English sentences are kind of awkward. Like no one really talks that way. It's not wrong, but no one talks that way. But the Gujarati is like, I don't know, relatively natural, I guess. Like it's simplified. It's simplified for sure for your guys' sake, but it is still pretty natural. It's kind of funny how the English one is like, I don't know, natural, I guess, but yeah, anyway. So now that we did that, let's read this one more time and you can try to understand. So I'm going to read it again. We've gone through this. Let's see if you can understand it, okay? Are you ready? Here we go. I'll go nice and slow. ઘણા વિદ્યાર્થીઓ યુએસમાં અભ્યાસ કરે છે. યુએસમાં ભણવું ખૂબ જ ખર્ચાળ છે. અમેરિકામાં એક મહિનાનો ખર્ચ કેટલો હોય છે? આજે આપણે આ વિશે વાત કરવાના છીએ. અમેરિકામાં મોટા ભાગનો ખર્ચ રહેવા પાછળ થાય છે. ત્યાં રહેવું ખૂબ જ મોંઘું છે. પણ હજી બીજા ખર્ચા હોય છે, જેમ કે પુસ્તકો, કપડા, ફોન વગેરે વગેરે. આના કારણે ઘણા વિદ્યાર્થીઓ પાર્ટ ટાઈમ જોબ કરે છે, જેથી એમનો ખર્ચ કવર થઈ જાય છે. કદાચ વિદ્યાર્થીઓ સ્ટારબક્સમાં કે બીજી કોફી શોપમાં કામ કરે છે. સામાન્ય રીતે અમેરિકામાં એક મહિનાનો ખર્ચ 1,000 થી 1,500 અથવા $1,500 જેટલો થાય છે. આમાં રૂમનું ભાડું, ખાવાનું અને મુસાફરીનો ખર્ચ આવી જાય છે. Let's go through some discussion questions. Now, when we do these discussion questions, if you're one of my private students, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to pick one or two of them. There's like quite a few. I think it's maybe too much to do all of them. There's quite a few. Pick one or two, maybe three, and just like write out a response. Like, what would your response be to this question? You're welcome to use AI or Google Translate. You're more than welcome to do that a little bit if you want to help support and find some words you don't know. And then bring that to class and like, let's actually talk about this topic. It'll be fun to like have a discussion, right? Okay, let me share my screen and we'll go through these many questions. If you're not one of my students, like pick 2 or 3 questions and go talk to one of your family members, one of your friends, someone you know, and really try and have this discussion with them. Okay, let me share my screen. Here we go. I love these questions. They're really good. Yeah, these questions I actually didn't personally write. Like the text above, like I kind of sat down and really thought about it and wrote it out and da. These I just told the AI. I was like, AI, can you just give me some questions? And actually, I was reading them. I was like, oh my god, these questions are not bad. I actually like a lot of them. They're quite interesting. So let's go through them. જો તમારી પાસે ઘણા let's change this. જો તમારી પાસે ઘણા પૈસા હોય, તો તમે કયા દેશમાં ભણવા કે ફરવા જશો? So if you had a lot of money, which country would you go to for studying or traveling? This question here is like a little bit of a higher level, like the wording of it. It's probably a little bit higher than most, if not all of you watching the video. Like just the wording, the grammar in there, but don't worry too much about that right now. Number 2, tamara mate. I love this, by the way. Tamara mate is a really nice like phrase to know. Tamara mate means in your opinion. Tamara mate. If you want to say in my opinion, you would say mara mate. Mara mate. Blah, 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 blah. In my opinion, da da da. Okay. Tamara mate, paisa bachava mate, કઈ રીતે સૌથી sorry, not કઈ રીતે, excuse me. પૈસા બચાવવા માટે કઈ રીત સૌથી સારી છે? So what is the best way? કઈ રીત સૌથી સારી છે? Which method is the best? કઈ રીત સૌથી સારી છે? Investing કે bank account માં, savings account માં, કે કઈ રીતે પૈસા બચાવવા જોઈએ? How should we save our money? What's the best way to do that? શું તમે ક્યારે કોઈ કોફી શોપ કે રેસ્ટોરન્ટમાં કામ કર્યું છે? તમારો અનુભવ કેવો હતો? So have you ever worked in a coffee shop or restaurant? How was your experience? Anubhav, or Anubhav here, means experience. Next one here. વિદ્યાર્થીઓ માટે ભણવાની સાથે નોકરી કરવી સારી બાબત છે કે ખરાબ? Kim, is it a good thing to saru? I'll reword a little bit just to simplify, actually. Just a little bit. You can say like, vidyarthiyo mate, vidyarthiyone, let's see, how can we simplify this? વિદ્યાર્થીઓને ભણવાની સાથે કામ કરવું જોઈએ, એ સારું છે? એ લોકોને કામ પણ કરવું જોઈએ કે નહીં? What do you think? એ સારું છે કે વિદ્યાર્થીઓ કામ કરે છે કે ખરાબ છે? Is it a good thing or is it not a good thing? What do you guys think? Next one. તમને તમારા રૂમ કે ઘર માટે, I don't like this one. No, let's skip this one. That's a dumb question. I don't like it. Let's do this one here. જો તમારે part-time job કરવી હોય, તો તમને કઈ નોકરી કરવી સૌથી વધુ ગમશે? So if you had to do a part-time job, right? જો તમારે part-time job કરવી હોય, if you have to do one, right? તો તમને કઈ નોકરી કરવી સૌથી વધુ ગમશે? What would you like the most? સૌથી વધારે શું ગમશે તમને? What kind of job would you like the most? તમારા શહેરમાં સામાન્ય રીતે રહેવાનો ખર્ચ કેટલો થાય છે? શું તે મોંઘુ છે? So what is the generally what is the cost of living in your city, right? સામાન્ય રીતે રહેવાનો ખર્ચ કેટલો થાય છે? The રહેવાનો ખર્ચ, the living expense, how much is it, right? Is it expensive? તમે તમારા કપડા, પુસ્તકો અને ફોન પાછળ કેટલો what the heck? This is a funny how that happened there. Anyway, કેટલા પૈસા ખર્ચો છો? ખર્ચો છો means how much are you expending? Like how much are you spending or expending? Think of the word like ખર્ચો as like expense, right? So you're expensing it, you're expending it. How much are you spending on it? વિદેશમાં એકલા રહેવાના કયા ફાયદા અને ગેરફાયદા છે? Faida, as you can see, is advantages. Ghairfaida is disadvantages. So, faida શું છે ને ગેરફાયદા શું છે? કયા છે? Right? What are they? વિદેશમાં એકલા રહેવાના, right? So living there alone, living abroad. Again, there's lots of questions. So when you practice these, when you come to class, like we're not gonna have a chance to do all of them. There just won't be time. So just pick a few of your favorites, and we can use that as a launching point for our conversation. This is kind of a silly question. I feel like there's only one answer to this, unless you don't like cooking at home or something. But anyway, તમને ઘરે બનાવેલું ખાવાનું વધુ ભાવે છે? We're gonna change ગમે છે to ભાવે. ભાવે છે કે બહાર રેસ્ટોરન્ટનું ખાવાનું? કેમ? I feel like there's only one answer to this question, right? Like, isn't home cooked food the best? I guess so. We have a couple here on U.S. education costs and debates, or U.S. education costs. Here's a couple on that. યુનિવર્સિટી શિક્ષણ બધા માટે મફત હોવું જોઈએ કે નહીં? યુનિવર્સિટી શિક્ષણ is education, right? શિક્ષણ બધા માટે મફત હોવું જોઈએ કે નહીં? Should be free or not? અમેરિકામાં ભણવું ખૂબ મોંઘુ છે. શું ત્યાં જવું યોગ્ય છે? So it's expensive to study in the US. Is it worth going there? જવું યોગ્ય છે? Is it worth going there? And last one. Here we go. જો ભણવા માટે મોટો લોન, so a big, that's actually an incorrect translation. ભણવા માટે મોટો loan means a big loan, not a student loan. It means a big loan. So જો ભણવા માટે મોટો loan લેવો પડે, તો શું તમારે અમેરિકા જવું જોઈએ? So if you need a big loan to go study in the US, should you still go? Or should you just stay home or go somewhere else, right? All right, that's our lesson for today. Hope you guys liked it. It's fun for me to record. It was kind of fun for me to make it, honestly. I had a lot of fun. I was like I got to watch different videos on YouTube and like hear some Indian perspectives on this. And I got to read a couple of different little articles and I thought about it. I got to write out a little script for it. Like, ooh, what am I going to write for you guys? Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So looking forward to talking about this with some of my private students. And have a great day. Outro. Bye.